Now, Deb, we probably agree with you. David, can you see the questions and messages on
I
your
can
side
see
as well?
Deborah has said, no, don't change it, keep it as it is. And I certainly respect that because, you know, it is something that's pretty robust. We have problems, but there are problems, and they're not bad problems. They're just, democracy things. And when they work, like, under Howard, things worked very well. If you were to prevent Howard from winning, like in the recent New Zealand election where they have mixed proportional voting, and the party that won the election is not in government.
Did you see what
the
Nationals did the other day? And they were literally nearly blackmailed the first day and the speaker vote. They right at the very, very last second, they were going to run their own candidate for speaker or president of the House. And pulled out very at the last second, but made a fool out of the new government on the very first day. So good on the Nationals.
They deserve to.
They did a very good job of making that commie Prime Minister looks foolish. And I hope more power to them because, anyone who wants to ban foreign investment on the very first day of power, which is the only thing that's literally propping up the New Zealand economy at the moment, got rocks in your head and doesn't believe in capitalism. How do you have a prime minister of a country, a first world country that is a democracy country that doesn't believe in capitalism?
Well, ask Canada and France.
It's beyond me. It's really quite beyond me. So, quite funny that one. Now, guys, I'm going to open it up for open question time. So if you do have any questions for myself or David, most likely more David than myself tonight. Certainly a question time now. If you haven't given a like or a thumbs up or a love on this live, please do now. It does help us both get to the top of the newsfeed, and that's why we're doing this, to get it out to as many people as we possibly can. Matthew from Perth, Matthew Lowry.
Matthew Lowry, yes.
Be able to see it. Yep. Says by-election in Julia Banks' seat. I've spoken to Banksy. I saw her on the weekend. I didn't get to go live with her. I was at the Greek Community Festival in Oakley, which was absolutely great. I couldn't stay for many hours. I was only there for about 3 hours, but I did get to speak to Banksy. We didn't do live, but just because she was on stage. I don't think that it's going to be a by-election for her seat in Chisholm. Her parents are Greek nationals, but she was a front bench lawyer and certainly renounced all of those things before she came to Parliament last year. So I don't see any problems with Banksy in this situation. To answer your question there, Matthew. Deborah's just written a big, long one, so let's see what that has to say.
I have a big problem with that. Was same when Gillard took government. How can it be constitutional for the loser to form government? How is it constitutional for the preferences to be changed after the votes have been cast? Look, the same kind of thing happened in Tasmania. Not last election, but a couple of elections ago where the Liberals won, but the Labour Party merged with the Greens and were given government, even though, according to the Constitution, the Liberals should have been given the opportunity to form government. And the problem is that you have people that I feel are, I use this word loosely, so, I'm not a legal expert. Corrupt. And what happens is you have outcomes that are just not warranted. Look, to be fair, they might not be corrupt. They might just be inept.
Well, we had it here in Victoria.
Oops. Okay, I think we're dropping out here.
Yeah. We had it here in Victoria as well, and actually in Pascoe-Vale, the seat of Pascoe-Vale, where the Liberals actually won the seat by first past the post, but Labor and Greens joining together and Animal Justice Party joining with them, which is obviously another front for the Labor Party, as we all know. then got together and their preferences and won the seat. So if you look at the numbers, first past the post, we win the seat every single election, but because of preferences, we've never held the seat. So, or I think we've held the seat once about 30 years ago. So, but yeah, it's a very strange system. I don't know whether first past the post is probably the way to go, or whether to change preferences and maybe bring down some of these smaller parties, because, you know, a metre and a half long electoral piece of paper is just friggin' annoying. And especially when, you know, there's other parties out there that are, you know, using the Liberal name, like Liberal Democrats or whatever the case may be, who are just trying to, you know, build off the back of other parties' names, and because the electoral piece of paper is so long, that it takes forever for anyone to sign it, and they see Liberal, so they just put the one next to it, and we actually lose votes on that. So, yeah, it's a strange system, but
I think it's not, the system isn't bad. I just think it needs to be electronic.
Yeah, and that'd probably help. If you just had that search bar and just said,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, go past all the. You don't need meter-long papers for that. But of course, you'd still have to make some meter-long papers for people that can't use the internet. But you had that problem anyway with people who just can't vote properly. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, David. I know you're a sick man, so I'll let you go there. I think, how long did we go for there?
About 43 minutes.
Yeah, so that's been a very good... thank you so much for joining me on this big first big technical change for both of us. It has been amazingly fun to have someone that I can see and talk to. Do you hope the euthanasia bill fails? Ooh, personally, Dave, you can answer that one.
Well, we got different points of view on this, and I'm comfortable. My concern with euthanasia is that there is no proper way of it working. You know, you can give me any assurances you like, but at the end of the day, I can only see an abuse of power. And I see places around the world where it works, and it works badly. So I'm uncomfortable with euthanasia as a policy. I think it's better to care for the sick rather than to kill them. But that being said, you know, look, if it gets passed, I do know people that are very emotionally involved in this, that would like to have something, and that really, you know, aren't intending to abuse it, but are intending to make use of something which has put them in a really difficult situation. So, you know, I'm ambivalent about it, but I'm, you know, against it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm pro-euthanasia. I've spoken many times on my live feed about this, but I'm actually against this particular bill. I have some real reservations about this particular bill, and namely the part of the bill that says that you go to your GP or the pharmacy, they give you the red pill, because we think it's going to be a red pill at this stage, in a locked box, and then you take that home, and it's up to you to use that whenever you like. I just think that there's so many problems that will arise around that. That we just haven't seen yet. If they approve the amendment, which James Molino had actually put up, which is Deputy Premier of the state, and it would have driven a wedge between Daniel Andrews and James Molino, his deputy, had it passed, that there should be someone with a medical background that when you say, okay, it's time for me to take that pill or take that end of life thing, that needs to be a medical practitioner being there and giving that at that time. There's just nothing in the legislation that says that at the moment. So I would personally be voting down this bill as well. But yeah, so hope that answers your question, Matthew. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, like I was saying, David, thank you very much for joining me. This has been fantastic. I hope
it has been.
Again.
We will.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Have a liberal night, have a liberal week, and we'll both speak to you soon. If you haven't already gone and liked David's page, please do so. He is a conservative blogger. He runs a Facebook Live pretty much every single day, which I don't know how you get the material for it, but I would run out within a week.
I write it.
But you write it, yeah, and you put it up too. Like, that's an amazing feat, like, in itself. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us. We'll speak to you very, very shortly, and enjoy your week for the rest of the weekend. Have a liberal week, have a liberal weekend.
Be well, people. Thank you very much.
Bye, David.